Hey everyone, I welcome you all to this session. And in this video, we are going to discuss about a Microsoft Excel report. And we will basically create an Excel report. And in this report, the dataset that we will be using is an insurance dataset. And we will basically discuss about medical malpractice insurance dataset. So before that, I will give you a brief about the insurance and its common types, and then later we will discuss about the dataset as well. So insurance is nothing but a financial arrangement that provides protection against financial loss or risk, right? So basically there's a policy holder. That policy holder will pay some premium to the insurance company, and then the insurance company will provide the policy holder the coverage against some specified risk or incident, right? So that's insurance. And now also insurance is also basically about distributing the risk over a large population. And now if I'll talk about the common types of insurance, then you must have heard about medical insurance that covers the medical expenses of the policyholder. And if the family members are also covered, then the medical expenses of the family members will also be covered, obviously. Then we have life insurance. So in case of event of death of the policyholder, the family members get the coverage amount. And then we have auto insurance for vehicles. Then we have property insurance for property that covers the property if in case some damage is caused to the property, and if that particular thing is covered as a part of the insurance, then the insurance company will pay the amount to the property owner. And then we have professional liability insurance. So today we are going to discuss about professional liability insurance only. And basically medical malpractice insurance is a type of professional liability insurance only, and this becomes very important for the professionals who provide advice to the clients, right? So it becomes very important for professionals like doctors, lawyers, educators, etc. And then we have another common type, that is travel insurance. So travel insurance basically covers the travel. So these are some of the common types of insurances. Now let's talk about professional liability insurance. So professional liability insurance, which is often referred to as the errors and omissions insurance, it's a type of coverage designed to protect professionals from legal claims and financial losses arising from negligence, errors, or omissions in the course of their professional duties. And this type of insurance is particularly important for individuals and businesses that provide professional services or advice, as we have already discussed. So let's consider an example. Let's say there's a doctor, and during the course of the treatment of a patient, let's say the doctor or the health professional caused some accident or error, and it, let's say, led to the death of the patient, or maybe it caused some severe harm or damage to the patient. So in that case, legal action can be taken against the doctor. And in that case in that case legal expenses will also be there. And then it may also be the case in case if the settlement takes place, or the court may order that the doctor or the healthcare professional or the medical institution will have to pay some compensation amount to the family members of the patient or to the patient. So all these type of expenses will be covered if the doctor or the healthcare professional has obtained a medical malpractice insurance, right? So this was just an example. Now if I'll talk about medical malpractice insurance, then it is a type of professional liability insurance that healthcare professionals obtain, such as doctors, surgeons, nurses, and other medical practitioners, to protect themselves against claims of negligence and errors that result in patient injury or harm, right? So we have already discussed about it, and our dataset will be related to medical malpractice insurance only. And now let's talk about why is it important for the healthcare professional to have or obtain a medical malpractice insurance. Because number one, it provides them financial protection. As I've already discussed about, there can be certain sorts of expenses involved in case if something goes wrong or a mishappening takes place. So there can be legal expenses, there can be the expenses related to the compensation. So all that will be taken care by the insurance company if the healthcare professional or the doctor has uh, got himself insured, right? That's the thing. Then also the second point is that it protects professional reputation. Certainly if there will be a legal lawsuit filed against any healthcare professional, then it will certainly impact the reputation. So if the doctor or the healthcare professional will be having enough resources to fight the case and to defend himself, then it can certainly help in protecting the professional reputation. So this insurance serves that purpose as well. Also, compliance with the legal and licensing requirements. So actually there are some jurisdictions where it is mandatory for the doctors or the healthcare professionals to have such an insurance, so that's also one point. Then after that, peace of mind. Certainly if the healthcare professionals know that they are covered, so in case if something goes wrong, so it will be taken care of by the insurance company. So definitely peace of mind again is the fourth point. Then we have the fifth point, that is it facilitates settlements in case the court orders that some compensation has to be given to the family members of the patient. So in that case, the insurance company will take care of it, right? So it facilitates settlements. And then the last point, that is support for risk management, right? Also, these insurance companies that cover the doctors or the health professionals as a part of this medical malpractice insurance, they have some training programs and guidelines for the healthcare professionals, so that to mitigate the risk or reduce the risk of something going wrong, right? So that's also one point. So I hope that you got a good idea and understanding of what is medical malpractice insurance and why is it important for medical professionals. So we'll meet in the next session, and then we'll discuss about the data set that we are going to use for reporting. So we'll meet in the next session. Till then, thank you. Bye bye. Hey everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to discuss about our dataset. So here you can see that in our dataset, there are different columns. So the very first column is amount column, and this column consists of the value of the claim amount paid to the claimant or the patient, and this amount is in dollars. Then we have second column, that is severity column. This column talks about the uh, severity of the damage caused to the patient, right, or the claimant. So it has value on a scale of 1 to 9. Then we have age. So age column, this tells you about the age of the patient. Then we have private attorney column. This tells you about whether the patient was represented, claimant was represented by a private attorney or not. If it was represented by a private attorney, then the value will be equal to 1, and if it was not represented by a private attorney, then the value will be equal to 0. Then we have marital status. So it tells you about the marital status of the patient or claimant, and it has different values. So 0 represents divorced, 1 represents single, 2 represents married, 3 represents widowed, and 4 represents unknown. Then we have specialty column. So specialty column tells you about the specialty of the physician involved in the treatment. Then we have insurance column. Insurance column tells you about the type of insurance carried by the claimant, right? So type of medical insurance carried by the claimant. So this particular column or this type of insurance has nothing to do with the medical malpractice insurance under which the doctor or the healthcare professional was covered, because these amounts were provided by the medical the sorry by the insurance company that covered the doctor or the healthcare professional as a part of medical malpractice insurance. So this claim amount was paid by that insurance company, but this particular column talks about the medical insurance that was carried by the claimant. Then we have last column, that is the gender column, and it tells you about the gender of the patient or the claimant, right? So this is the data that we have, and we are going to use this data for our analysis. Now let's see that what are the different types of values that we have in our data set. So I'll just simply click on any one of these cells in my data set, and then I'll press Control Shift L, and now you can see that you can see this drop down, and we'll just simply click on it, and we'll go through the different values that we have here, right? So you can just simply scroll down and see that these are the different types of values that we have here. We have no, null, or blank values. Then if I'll talk about the severity column, then here you can see the minimum value is 1, maximum value is 9. So as I already told you that on a scale of 1 to 9, a value has been provided in this column that tells you about the severity of the damage caused to the claimant or patient. Then we have age column. So you can see that the minimum value of age is 0 years. So 0 years represents that the age is less than 1 year, right? So 0 represents that the value of the age is less than 1 year. So it talks about infants. And here we have different values. You can see right from 0 to 87. So that's the thing. Then we have private attorney column. So here we have two values: 0 if the claimant was not represented by a private attorney, and if he was represented by a private attorney, then the value is equal to 1. And then we have marital status. So here we have different types of values, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what all these values represent, we have already discussed about it. It is written here. You can see it from here as well. And then we have specialty. So this column tells you about the specialty of the physician was involved in the treatment, and then the type of the medical insurance carried by the claimant or the patient, and then we have gender, right? So here we have two values, that is male and female. So the data looks fine, and we'll be using this data for the analysis. Now let's say we have gone through the different types of values that we have. Let's say I want to add an index column, or I want to add a column in this particular data set so that I'll be able to identify each record. So separately, in order to identify each record, I want to add an index column. So what I'll do, I'll just first of all, I'll press Control Shift L. So you can see that these filter buttons are gone now. And let's say I want to add a column here in the beginning. So I'll simply click here on this column, and then I will press Control Shift and plus. So it will add a new column for us. Let's name this column as index. And in this column, just simply type it in the cell A2, just simply type 1. And now move your cursor so that you get to see this plus icon, and just simply double click on it. So it will fill all the values for you. Now press Control and down arrow key. It will take you to the last record. Now click here, autofill options, and then select fill series. So you can see that we are now having an index column, right? And if I'm now here on A2 cell, if I'll press Control and down arrow key, it will take you to the last record, and we have a total of 79,210 records, right? So we have total records which are equal to 79,210. That's fine. Now I'll again press Control up arrow key. So it brings us back to the A1 cell. So this is the data that we have. Now we want to make some replacements. We want to replace the values in, let's say, private attorney column, and we want to replace let's say 1 by yes and 0 by no. So first of all, I'll click here on E2 cell, and then I'll press Shift, Control and down arrow key. So it selects the entire data. Now I'll just simply type Control F. All right, so this dialog box opens, and now I just want to in place of, I'll click here on replace, and in place of 0, let's say I want no should be written. So I will write find what 0 replace with no, and I'll simply click on replace all. So the values have been replaced, and it will show you all done. We have made 26,861 replacements. Okay. Now again, in the same selected column, we want to replace 1 by yes. So find what you have to write 1 and replace with yes. And simply click on replace all. And all done. We have made 52,349 replacements. Click on OK and close it. So now we have values as yes or no in private attorney column. Let's say we want to make similar type of changes for marriage status column. So I will first of all click here on F2 cell, then Shift, Control, down arrow key and Control F once again. Or maybe you can just click here on F79211 cell, and then you can simply press Control Shift up arrow key, and it will select entire column for you. Now you can just simply type Control F, and click on replace. Now here we want to replace 0 by divorced. So here in place of 0, I will write divorced and replace all. All done. We have made 3832 replacements. Okay. We want to replace 1 by single. So here I will write single and replace all. So 22,802 replacements made. Okay. Now here in place of 2, we want married to be written, MARRIED, replace all. So 41,220 replacements made. Okay. Now in place of 3, we want widowed to be written. So we can simply write widowed here, replace all, 994 replacements. And then we have 4. In place of 4, we want unknown to be there. So unknown. All right, and replace all. Okay, so we have made 10,362 replacements. Okay, and close it. So this is the data that we are now going to use. If I'll just simply click here on any one of the cells, and if I'll press Control Shift L, and let's say if I want to know about the different types of values, so for marital status column, I'll just simply click here on the drop down, and you can see that now these are the different values that we have in this particular column. We have made the replacements. And in this private attorney column, we replaced 1 by yes and 0 by no. So now yes or no values are present in this particular column. We could have also made these replacements in the Power Query Editor. We could have also used Power Query Editor. In one of my previous Excel project videos, I've discussed about Power Query Editor as well. So you can refer to other videos, Excel project videos on my channel as well. But here we have done everything here only. So that's it. So I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you got some understanding of the data that we are going to use. And from the next session, we will start creating the report, and we will start adding visuals to the report basically. So we'll meet in the next session. Till then, thank you. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, welcome back. So let's say we want to add one more column in our data set, and in that column using that column we want to categorize different claimants according to different age groups and different age categories. So for this purpose, I'll be using if function, and let's add a column here. So let's name this column as age group, and enter. Double click here, right? Okay. Now you can simply write equal to if, then press tab, then you have to write the logical test. So if, let's say, this particular cell value is less than 26, then let's put them in category A. And if the age is not less than 26, then we will again use one more if function. So if, and press tab, if age value, that is this value, is less than, let's say, 51, then in that case, let's place them in category B. And if the age is not less than 51, so we will use one more if function. If, then press tab, age, that is the cell value here, is less than, let's say 76. Let's keep it in category C. And if none of them holds true, then keep that particular claimant in age group D. All right, so now we will close the parenthesis. All right, and then simply click on enter. Right, so the first record of the first claimant belongs to the age group C. Now you just simply have to hover your mouse, and you are required to bring it here to the right hand side corner till you see this plus icon, and then simply double click. So it will automatically fill all the cells. So you can see that different claimants were categorized according to the age groups, right? So that can be identified using this column, that is the age group column. If I'll press Control Shift L, then you can see, and if I'll click on the drop down, then you can see that these are the different values that we have here, right? That is A, B, C, and D. If I'll talk about A, then A represents, age group A represents nothing but age less than 26, less than 26, right? And then we have age less than 51. I mean, from more than 25 and less than 51 will be categorized as B. So B represents age between 25 and 51. That is more than 25 and less than 51. All right, so that's the thing. Then we have C, and C represents greater than 50 and less than 76. So between 50 and 76. Between 50 and 76. Then we have D. So it includes all other remaining cases, or you can see greater than 75, right? So it includes greater than 75 years of age. So these are the different groups that we have created, and we will be using this particular column in our analysis. So we'll meet in the next session. Till then, thank you. Bye bye. Hey everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we will discuss about adding the visuals to the report, and we'll also basically discuss about creating a pivot table, and then we will create visuals using that pivot table. So let's start. First of all, I'll press Control and up arrow key. So this is the data that we have. Now I'll first of all click here on any one of the cells in the range that consists of the data that we are going to use for analysis. Then click on Insert, Pivot Table from Table/Range, and OK. So this has created a pivot table for us named Pivot Table 4. Now let's say I want to represent using a line chart. Let's say I want to represent the amount of the claim paid, or the sum of the amount of the claims paid according to the different age group categories that we created. So I will simply drag this amounts column and will drop it here in value section. And I will drag this age group column and will drop it here in rows section. So this is the pivot table that has been created, and we will be using this pivot table in order to create a line chart in which we will represent these amounts. So first of all, I'm interested in converting these amounts to billion. So I will select these amounts. Then I'll press Control 1, and this dialog box appears, custom, and in place of general, simply type hash dot hash hash comma 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 space, and in double quotes simply write capital B, and then click on OK. So the amounts are now converted into billions, and now we will be using these amounts to represent the amounts for different age groups in a line chart. Now simply click on your pivot table, then click on Pivot Table Analyze, then Pivot Chart, and it will show you the various options or various charts that you can use here. So let's say I want to create a line chart here. So I will select the line chart, and let's say I want to select this line chart. So I'll select it, then click on OK. Let's keep it here. All right. You can further resize it. All right. So I do not want these buttons to be there. So I'll right click and then hide all field buttons on the chart. Then I don't want the legends to be there. I'll simply click on it and delete. I do not want the grid lines to be there. So click on the plus icon and change this grid lines to off. I do not want the values to be represented along the vertical axis. So in this axis, I will change this primary vertical to off, and Then since I want the data labels to be there, so I will simply click on data labels, and I do not want this thin gray colored line to be present there along the horizontal axis. So I'll right click, and from outline I will click on no outline, right? So it looks comparatively better now. And let's say if you want to sort it in ascending or descending order, so you can do that as well. All right, or we can also sort it from smallest to largest. All right, now let's say let's change the title. So here we are representing amounts or claims paid, claims, yeah, or we can write total claim amount, total claim amount by age groups. All right, and you can also change the formatting of the text. So just simply select this text box, home, let's keep it bold and black. All right, and you can also change the position if you want to, so let's keep it here. All right, and now let's change the formatting for the data labels as well. So simply click on any one of the values, bold, black, let's keep it of size equal to 8. Similarly, let's say we also want the values written along the horizontal axis to have same formatting as that of the data labels. So I will first of all click on any one of the numbers, then I'll click on format painter, and then click on any one of out of A, B, C, or D. So now you can see that the values written along the horizontal axis are having same formatting as that of the data labels. But we can increase the size for them as well. So just simply click on any one of them, then you can increase the size from here like this. So let's keep it 12. I think that's fine. And all right, so and let's keep this chart title underlined. So just select it and underline, right? So that's how you can create a line chart. Now let's say I want to change the color of this line chart, so I will simply click on this line chart, then design, and change colors. So let's keep it yellow. All right, so it looks fine now. So that's the thing, that's how you can add a line chart, and you can create a line chart using the pivot table. And now let's say we are also interested in representing the number of the claimants or number of the claims that we have in each age group, right? So for that purpose, I will again go back to the data tab that we have. So here we have medical malpractice copy. I'll click here on this tab, and then again I'll click on insert pivot table from table slash range. I want to add a pivot table to the existing worksheet. So I'll click on existing worksheet, and then I'll click on sheet 4. And let's say I want to add the new pivot table here. So I'll click here on the cell and click on OK. So it has added a new pivot table for you by the name pivot table 5. And now we'll be using this pivot table 5 to add or create one more chart. So having this, I'll just simply click here on the pivot table, on pivot table 5. And let's say since here we are interested in representing the count of claims or claimants in each age group, right? So I will simply drag this index column and will drop it here in values section. And this time we do not wish to represent the sum of the index. We want to represent the count of the index. Index is basically being used, or index column is basically being used to identify each record separately. So I will click here on the drop down, then value field settings, and from here I'll select count and OK. And now I will drag this age group and will drop it here in rows section. So you can see that for different age groups, the number of claims or number of claimants are visible here in this pivot table. Now let's say I want to use a column chart to represent these numbers. So I will click here on my pivot table, then pivot table analyze, pivot chart, and it will show you that what all are the possible charts that you can use. So here it's already showing this column chart. I want to add a column chart for the same only. So I will simply select this chart and click on OK. So this is the chart that we are going to use. All right, we can further resize it. All right. All right. So for this chart as well, let's say I do not want the buttons to be there. So right click, hide all field buttons. I do not want the legends to be there. So click on the plus icon and change this legends to off. And we do not want the values to be represented along the vertical axis. So from this axis, click uncheck this box, that is primary vertical. I do not want the grid lines to be there, so uncheck this box as well. And also that's fine. Now I want the data labels to be there on the chart, so I will simply change this data labels to on, right? So that's the thing. Also, I do not want this thin gray colored line to be present there along the horizontal axis. So I will click here on any one of A out of A, B, C, and D, and then I'll right click, outline, no outline. I hope that's gone now. And now let's say I want the values written along the horizontal axis to have same formatting as that of the values written along the horizontal axis in the previous chart. So I will simply click here on any one of A, B, C, D in the previous chart. Then I'll click on Format Painter, and then I'll click on, let's say, D. So this the values written along the horizontal axis are now having same formatting as that of the values written along the horizontal axis in the previous chart. And now let's say I want the data labels on in the column chart to have same formatting as that of the line chart. So first of all, I'll click here on any one of the values in the line chart, then Format Painter, and then I'll click here on any one of the values in the column chart. So that's the thing. Now let's say we want to sort the values in ascending or descending order. So we can just simply click here on any one of the bars, any one of the column, and then from this sort option, we can either change it to smallest to largest, or maybe we can also change it to largest to smallest. So it looks fine now. And let's say we want to change the color of the columns. So I'll just simply click here on the chart, and then from here design, we can change the colors. Let's keep it orange. All right. And let's say we want to change the title as well. So I'll just simply, in place of this total, I can simply write number of claims by age group. So we can write number of claims by age. So that's the thing. And since we want the heading or the title to have same formatting as that of the title in the line chart, so first of all, I'll click here on the title in the line chart, then click on Format Painter, and then simply click on the title in the column chart. So that's the thing. You can further change the position for the title in the column chart if you want to. You can just simply drag and shift and keep it here. So that's the thing. We have created two charts, the first being the line chart and the second one being your column chart. And you can further format these charts if you want to. Let's say I want to add a border to these visuals. So let's say first of all, let's talk about the line chart. So I will simply click here on the line chart, then right click, and you can see format chart area. And then let's say I want to have a border, want to add a border. So let's change it to solid line. Let's keep it black. Similarly for this chart as well, that is the column chart. Right click, format chart area, and from here you can add a border. Let's change it to solid line, and it's already black. So that's fine. So in this session we have created two visuals. We'll meet in the next session. We'll create more pivot tables and visuals, and then we'll discuss about creating the report, and we will add slicers as well to the report. So we'll meet in the next session. Till then, thank you. Bye bye. Hey everyone, welcome back. So in this video we will discuss about adding a bar chart and creating a bar chart using the pivot table. So let's open the data tab, and I will again click on insert pivot table from table/range, existing worksheet. I'll click on sheet 4, and let's say I want to add the pivot table here. So I'll click here on the cell and then click on OK. So it has created a new pivot table for us by the name pivot table 6. And in this pivot table, let's say we want to represent the uh, amounts by physicians, right? We want to represent the amount of the claim paid, or some of the amount of the claim paid by clinicians. So here we have amount column. I will simply drag this amount column and will drop it here in values section. And since I want the sum to be represented, so that's fine. And here, since I want these amounts to be represented by specialty or by the physician, so I'll just simply drag this specialty column and will drop it here in rows section. So you can see that it has created a pivot table where the following sums or amounts are being represented. Now in this case, let's say I am interested in converting these amounts to millions. So what I'll do, I'll just simply first of all select these amounts, then press Ctrl 1, custom, and in place of general, we can write hash dot hash hash comma comma space and capital M in double quotes, and then click on OK. So you can see that the amounts have been now converted to millions in this case, and we want to represent this data using a bar chart, right? So I will simply click here on the pivot table, then pivot table analyze, pivot chart, and here you can see that it shows this suggestion that, I mean, as of now, since this column is selected, so it's showing that if you will add a column chart, then it's going to look something like this. But here you can see that the names are not clearly visible along the horizontal axis. So we will prefer not to create a column chart in this case. So here we will be adding a bar chart, and you can see that it's like all the names, all the different categories or the speciality of the physicians is clearly visible, right? So that's why we'll be creating or adding a bar chart in this case. So whenever you are adding or creating any visual, you should always keep in mind that which visual will best show the insights that we want to represent using the charts, right? Because it becomes very important that whatever you are representing, whatever insights you want to show through your chart, it should be clearly, easily readable. So that's the most important thing. So that's why in this case I'm selecting a bar chart, and then I'll click on OK. So it has created a bar chart for us. All right, you can further resize it. Maybe we can increase its size if you want to. All right. So all right, now let's say here on this chart I don't want the buttons to be there, so I'll right click, hide all field buttons. I do not want the values to be represented along the horizontal axis in this case, so click on plus icon and axis and change this primary horizontal to off. We do not want the legends to be there, so change this to off. We do not want the grid lines to be there, so change that as well to off. And obviously we do not want this thin gray colored line to be present along the vertical axis, so right click, outline, and then no outline. All right, now we want the values to be represented as data labels, so click on plus icon, then simply check this box, that is data labels. And if you want to sort it in ascending or descending order, you can simply click on any one, right click on any one of the bars, then sort, let's say smallest to largest. So all right, looks fine. And let's say we want to change the color of the bars, so you can simply click here on this chart, then design, and you can change the colors from here. So let's keep it green. All right, so that's the thing. Now let's say we want the values to have same formatting in this bar chart, to have same formatting as that of the column chart that we created. So I will simply click here on any one of the values in the column chart, then format painter, and then click on any one of the values in this bar chart that we created. All right, and now let's say we want the values written along the vertical axis, or the names categories written along the vertical axis to have same formatting as that of the values that we data labels or the values that we have represented in the bar chart. So I'll simply click here on any one of the values, then format painter, and then click on any one of the categories that is being represented along the vertical axis. So that's how this chart is going to look. You can further increase the size if you want to. All right. And now let's say we want to add a border. So I will right click here on this chart, format chart area, and solid line, and black is already selected, so that's fine. And let's say this time we also want rounded corners, so you can just scroll down in this format chart area section and simply select rounded corners. All right, for other charts as well, if you want to select rounded corners, you can just simply click on the chart, and then in this format chart area, simply check this box, that is rounded corners. Similarly for the line chart, right click, format chart area, scroll down and select rounded corners. So in this manner, you can add these visuals, create these visuals, and that's how you can format them. In case if you are interested in adding a shadow to these visuals, so you can do that as well. Let's say, for example, if I want to add a shadow in this first chart, that is the line chart. So I'll just simply right click, format chart area, and then I will click here on effects, then simply click on shadow, and you can select uh, whatever type you want. Let's say want to add this particular type of shadow, that is offset bottom right. Just simply click on it. You can change the color from here, and you can see that a shadow has been added. Similarly, if you want for this chart as well, you can follow or do the same thing. So simply click on effects and shadow. You can select any shadow that you like from here. Color, you can select transparency, and all those things you can select, and a shadow will be added. If you are interested in adding glow, then you can just simply click on the chart, format chart area, effects, and then here there's this option of glow as well. So you can just simply click here on the drop down, and you can select whatever option you like from here. So let's say we want to add a shadow to this bar chart as well. So right click, format chart area, and then effects, shadow, and let's say I want to select this one. I'll select it. I want the color to be black. That's fine. So this is how you can add a shadow, or maybe you can add glow as well in the similar manner to all the charts, and you can format the charts accordingly as per your choice, right? So we have added three charts in this uh, on this particular sheet 4, tab named sheet 4 or page named sheet 4. We will be adding one more visual to this particular page, and then we will discuss about creating a report and adding slices and all. So we'll meet in the next session. Till then, thank you. Bye bye. Hey everyone, welcome back. So let's say we want to add one more visual, and we want to, for that purpose, we want to create one more pivot table. So I'll first of all click here on this worksheet named medical malpractice copy, and then let's say we want to create a chart where we want to represent the number of the claims by insurance type. We'll be using this column, right, and this column. So we want to represent the number of the claims by insurance type. So again, I'll simply click on insert pivot table from table slash range, existing worksheet. I'll click on sheet 4, and then let's say I want to add the next pivot table here. I'll click here on the cell and click on OK. So now we have our next pivot table, that is pivot table 7. Now here we want to represent the count of the claims by insurance type. So I will drag this insurance field and will drop it here in a row section, and I will drag this index field and will drop it here in values section. We do not want the sum of the index, but we want the count of it. So I'll click on the drop down, value field settings, count, okay. Right, so this now represents the count according to different insurance types. Now I want to add a chart for this, so I will simply click here on this pivot table, then pivot table analyze, and then pivot chart. And let's say I want to add uh, pie chart in this case. So I will click here on the pie chart and I'll select this pie chart and I'll click on OK. So this is a pie chart that has been created. All right. Now we also want to format this pie chart. All right. Okay. So here in this case, let's say I do not want the buttons to be there. So first of all, I'll right click here on any one of the buttons, then hide all field buttons on the chart. All right, so that's the thing. Now let's say I further want to represent different categories here, right? So we want the data labels to be changed to on. So I'll first of all click here on this chart, then plus icon, and then data labels. I will change the data labels to on, and then I'll just simply click here on this arrow, and let's say I want to have to select data callout. So let's say we can select data callout, and that's how these different uh, values are being represented along with different insurance types. Since different insurance types are already being represented, so we do not want the legends. So I will change this legends to off, and I think it looks comparatively better now. Maybe we can move the chart title, let's say here, we can keep it here. And yes, I think it looks better now. So we can further, let's say, let's change its position. Let's keep it here. All right. So, okay, all right. So here, let's say I want to change the title, and here in place of total, I want to write the number of claims by insurance type. So we have number of claims by insurance type. All right. Okay. Maybe we can keep it here as well. And further change the size. All right. So let's keep it here only. And just simply select the title, and let's keep it black and bold. Let's keep it underlined. All right. So all right, now we have created a pie chart or a circle graph, and using this chart we are representing the different, basically the percentage is being represented, but we do not want to represent the percentage only. We are also interested in representing the values. So I will right click here on any one of the data labels, and then I will click here on format data labels, and here you can see that these all options will open up. Right now, let's say we want to represent the value, so I will click here on value. So it will now represent the value as well along with the percentage. If you want to change this percentage to off, you can change it to off, but if you want to check this box, then you can check it. Now here you can see that this Medicare and Medicaid, this D is written here in the next line. I want it to be in the same line only, so I will simply select this particular data label. We'll click here on this data label, and will then further increase the size like this. Right, so it looks comparatively better. It's clearly visible now, so it looks fine to me. That's fine. All right, and now let's say we want to change the formatting for these data labels. So I will simply, let's say I want the data labels to have same formatting as that of the data labels in the previous visual that we created, the bar chart that we created. So in the bar chart, I'll click here on any one of the numbers, then I'll click on format painter, and then I'll click on the data labels, any one of the data labels in the pie chart. Right, so now the data labels in the pie chart are also having same formatting as that of the data labels in the bar chart that we created. Now let's say I want to change the border style for the the callout values which are being represented. So I'll just simply right click on them, and then we can change the data label shapes. So let's say we want to select this particular shape, so we can select this shape. All right, so it looks comparatively better now. And all right, so I hope this video was helpful. We have created one more chart, and we will be adding one more worksheet in this workbook, and we will see how to place all these visuals on that particular worksheet, and how to add slicers as well, and how to make this report dynamic. That is, the values will change in all the charts with respect to the selected values in the slicers that we will add, or the visual filters that we will add. Also, let's say first of all, to this pie chart, I am interested in adding a border and shadow. So I'll just simply click here on this chart, right click, format chart area, and then solid line, and let's keep it black. All right, and let's say we are also interested in adding a shadow. So I'll click here on FX, shadow, I'll select this one, and it's already black, so I want black color to be there. That's fine. And let's say we want to have rounded corners for this visual as well, so I'll simply check this box that is rounded corners. All right, so it looks better now. We'll meet in the next video. We'll discuss about adding one more worksheet and slices and all. So till then, thank you, bye bye. Hey everyone, welcome back. So in this video we will discuss about creating one more worksheet, and we will basically create a report, and we will see how to add slicers. So here we have this pie chart. Let's say for this pie chart we have the data labels, and there is this outline for this particular shape that you can see here, and I want the outlines for data labels to be of black color. So I will first of all right click here on any one of the data labels, then I'll simply click on outline, and then I'll select black color from here. So I think it looks fine now. Now I want to create or add one more worksheet in my workbook. So I'll simply click on this plus icon, and it has created a new worksheet by the name sheet 7. Let's rename it as report. So I'll double click and rename it as report, enter. And now we will copy the visuals from sheet 4, and we will then paste them here on this particular page. So that's the thing. I will click here on sheet 4. These are the visuals that we have created. I'll copy them, Control C. Let's keep it here, Control V. Sheet 4, second visual, Control C. This is the report. Let's keep it here, Control V. You can further resize them according to your convenience. All right, now again our sheet 4, this is the third visual, Control C, and let's keep it here, Control V. For this visual we have not changed the title, so let's change the title. So here we have total claim amount by specialty. So we can write total claim amount, or we can simply write claim amount by specialty. All right, and since I want the heading to have title to have same formatting as that of the line chart, so I will simply click here on this title, format painter, and then I'll click here on this title of the bar chart. All right, so that's the thing. Now we have our fourth chart. So this is the fourth chart that we have. Simply click here on this chart, Control C, report. Let's keep it here, Control V. So these are the charts that we have created. You can further increase the size for this pie chart if you want to. All right. So now let's say, and you can further resize this column chart as well. All right. Now let's say we want to add some slicers to this particular report that we have created. So I'll close it, and let's say I'll just simply click here on any one of the visuals. Let's click here on this column chart only, then insert slicer. Let's say I want to add a slicer for severity, for private attorney, for marital status, and for gender. And okay, so these are the visuals, these are the slicers that we have added. Let's place them here. You can place them at a suitable place according to your convenience. That's the thing. Reduce the size. Okay, drag the slicer and we'll keep it here. Let's drag and keep the slicer somewhere, let's say here. This is the fourth slicer that we have. Let's keep it here. All right. Now, if I will click here on any one of the values on any one of the slicers, let's say, for example, for this slicer severity, let's say I click on 9. So you will see that the value is changing only in the column chart. I want the values to change in all the charts. So for that purpose, what I'll do, I'll just simply click here on the slicer. Then here you can see the slicer written at the top. I'll click here on slicer again, report connections, and then I will check the boxes for all the pivot tables. So check this, this, and this as well. Okay. Similarly, we'll do for other slicers as well. And resize it. Click here on the slicer, report connection, select all of them. Okay. Similarly for the slicer as well. Okay. And for the slicer as well, same. Okay. So if I will click on any one of the values in any one of the slicers, let's say for private attorney, yes or no, I will click on yes. So you can see that the values are changing in all the charts. If let's say I will click further reduce the size, yes. If let's say I select married, then you can see that the value is changing in all the slicers. If I'll select male from here, then you can see that the values are again changing on all the charts. So that's the thing. All right. Okay. So we have created this report, and you can also create similar type of report, or you can use a different data set and then you can create a report taking reference from this video. And if you want to give it a suitable heading, you can do that as well. Let's select the cells at the top and let's merge them. So merge and center. And let's say I want to name it as medical malpractice report. So you can give it that name. Control A. Let's keep it bold, black, and you can further increase the size from here. So let's keep it maybe 28, and let's give it a background color. All right. And let's say we want to change the grid lines to off. So under this view tab, just uncheck this box. All right. So that's how you can create a report. You can further resize it if you want to resize that pie chart. All right. Okay. So in this manner, you can create an Excel report, and in this manner, you can add slicers as well to the report, and the values in the different charts will then change according to uh, different values that you've selected on the slicers. And you have to change the report connection, right, as shown in the video. So that's the thing. I hope this video was helpful. I have also uploaded some more videos on my channel where I've discussed about the data cleaning part in Power Query Editor as well. So you can refer to other Excel project videos on my channel as well. I hope this video